Alright, so today, I'm going to go ahead and do my intro while waiting for the game to load up. Today I'm going to be teaching people how to use the P51 Mustang in the game of War Thunder. A lot of people seem to want to go for the Spitfires, the Hurricanes, the more maneuverable aircrafts, and I see that because, um, they're highly maneuverable aircraft, but they don't have the guns, they don't have the armor. They're more meant to just bob and weave and kind of tease your enemy. Higher tier like 4.0 Spitfires, now those are actually good. I like them, and it's a decent aircraft. But towards the beginning, it's more for people who are used to a highly maneuverable aircraft. Me, I'm used to a plane that has good guns, heavy armor, moves fast, but doesn't know how to turn. So today I'm going to be demonstrating how to use a couple different airplanes. I'm going to start off with P51, which is one of my favorite planes out of the entire game. I do like the B-17 because I am a bomber person, but some people just don't like it. So for the demonstrating how to use it, I'm going to go ahead and using custom battles inside War Thunder, because it's a little bit easier and I'm not playing against people who actually know what the heck they're doing. Originally my previous video was US aircraft versus Great Britain aircraft. Sorry about there not being any audio on that, but it wasn't meant for a video for me to be talking. So anybody who cares to join me in War Thunder, my gamer tag is already on the screen, and please send me a friend invite and I will try and include you in a video. So what's going to go ahead and happen is custom battles. There's only a few maps that can hold 64 players properly. I know there's a few modded maps out there that, they do 64 players, but the entire game is modded. And I highly suggest, if you have a performing computer that can handle that high of a graphics setting, go ahead, try them out, see what you think. I'm going to be hosting a couple myself and seeing what people think. So, I hear a lot of people say they don't like the P51 because it doesn't climb very well, it doesn't do what everyone wants it to do. Well, the trick is, most people climb more of a degree than this. It's about a 10 to 15 degrees incline. This is about as much as the plane can handle. Don't go more, because then, yes, you'll climb faster, but you stall out faster. In smaller maps, you want to turn around, gain your altitude, get up to around 15,000 feet. 10,000 feet works, but that's usually where your bombers tend to sit. And it can get pretty nasty once in a while. Now, as I said, I am hosting a 32 versus 32, which is a 64-player game. So, my PC doesn't exactly like handling this. So, yeah, Max can actually handle this game surprisingly, and I'm shocked. But that's out of context. So, one thing I do love about the P51 is its 50 cal machine guns. They pack a punch, and if you know how to use them, then, well, yes, they're going to work well. I'm going to go ahead and lever out a little bit at 11,000 feet, just to regain my speed and start climbing again. Most people want to just try and do either one steady incline or one bolt up to the top. Me, I do 3 different bolts in climbing into altitude. I normally do that first one until I reach about 115 miles per hour, and then I'll continue to slowly climb. Now, since this is such a big map, I'm not going to have to raise my nose up any more than what it is, mainly because I'm not even halfway across the map. I mean, that's pretty obvious. This map I'm using a mixture of planes, you know, just demonstrating. I don't want to just, you know, always go against Great Britain, but this plane's really good. Yes, I am fighting lower tier aircraft, that way it can demonstrate a little bit better where to hit, and it will rip the plane apart. P51's also really good at fast speeds and high altitude. It's really comforting up at this amount of range, because if someone clips your wing, tear off a piece of your wing, and you're still able to fly with it, you have more room to recover from that type of a hit. Now, as you see already, I'm already up at 17,000 feet. My audio might be lagging behind. I know it's at 16,500, but there's nothing to complain about. When you're up at this altitude, hopefully some of your teammates are riding down low. So how I already can see this lag 3 that's sitting now, I'm going to go ahead and rotate my plane and dive down. If you just dive down, you'll get negative G's and your pilot are more likely to pass out than if you turn your plane and then go ahead and proceed down. Go ahead and point your nose down, gain as much speed as you can, because when you go back towards that incline going back straight up usually, your plane will not be, whoa, I just lagged. And then after you attack your target, reclimb, gain up, get out of whatever area you are in. Because a lot of people that are at down low are at a low speed and are trying to outmaneuver people. With the P51, it's meant to outclimb and just kind of be in and out. It's more used as a surgical plane. A lot of the attackers are like that, where it's in the nickname of called boom and zoom, which it's exactly how it sounds. You hit as high as the speed as you can on your way down, and hit your target, get out, and zoom away. I really do like the P51 because, well, it's unique look and it is a great plane. Why am I getting such a bad lag? Sorry about this lag a little bit, guys, but, you know, it's the best I can do right now with running off of a hard drive versus the SSD. Now this game, if you can handle max graphics, make sure you're running it off the SSD versus a hard drive, because this game cannot handle the graphics on a hard drive. Usually, other than, if you guys don't know what a hard drive is, it's a disk state drive versus a chip related drive. Now, the one thing you don't want to do with the P51, and I make this mistake all the time, is continuously fire your guns. It's best to burst fire your guns and keep them burst firing, rather than just shoot non-stop and you burn out your guns a little too fast. One thing you want to do is aim for the weakest points on the aircraft, aim for the engine, aim for the tail, limit their controls the best you can, because it makes it a little bit easier to get this plane around. Now, with this plane, don't be worried about pulling 12, 13G turns, because if you have your pilot at a high enough rank, you can continue pulling these turns off. Avoid head-ons at all costs with this plane, because the armor in the front is not the best, and it's just, if you take a hit to the pilot, that plane's done for. It's not much of a, well, fun game anymore at that point if you just keep heading on people, because then most of the time both of you guys end up dying. Always come at an angle or try and strafe your enemy. It usually works a little bit better. As a courtesy call, if you're fighting against someone and they've caught on fire, let them be. Just let them be. It becomes unfair at that point, because if you catch someone on fire, some people don't know really well how to deal with that, which if you're playing on PC, it's hold S and hold I to be able to put that fire out and get yourself back up and going. Do wait until the fire goes out, then go ahead and press I once, and then hold W until the engines fire back up. With the B-17, it does have somewhat of a fire countermeasure built into itself, but it doesn't always work, so don't trust it. With the right now, with the P51, I am just trying to be more of a assistant rather than a person who just goes in, takes people out, gets out. I'm trying to hit it so these bots can try and take out the targets. Otherwise, it's a buttload of mess. Also, when a target turns that kind of dull red, it's like a dark red, don't keep shooting at them. Let them go. Let them try, and they'll try and shoot at you. Most of the time, people can't get a good shot off when the plane's like that. One thing to worry about is if you have another plane that's identical to yours, like the P-47 and the P-51, if they're going at each other, do not continue to head on. Because, first of all, you will lose, you will die, and that goes for both sides. And I know I say that a lot of time, but head-onning is not fun in the game. It's unfair. Yes, noobs do it a lot, but if you're a new player and you're trying to learn how to play this game, it's really, really simple. PC is simple because you just move the mouse in the direction you want to go, and W and S are your throttles. Control A is to bank left, D is to bank right, E is to control your rudder, along with Q. Personally, I prefer with this game to use a gaming mouse because it makes things a little bit easier. You can get a cheap gaming mouse and it works perfectly fine. You can go ahead and use F for flaps. When making turns, go ahead and put your own combat flaps, and then when you come out of a turn, whoops. See, that's what I mean. You get a little too close and you kind of can't get out of it. Now, all that I try and do is, when I die, I try and get a soft landing award, but that's not exactly the easiest of things to do. So, it's just something, to learn and, get a feel of it. I'm going to go ahead and grab the B-17E. This is going to be a multi-demonstration. The B-17E, you want to go ahead and keep yourself at as high of an altitude as you can, but for this demonstration to kind of show how reasonable this plane can be, is I'm going to go ahead and go low, stick around 5,000 to 4,000 feet where the actual fight is at. Most of the time these bots don't attack me, but hopefully let's get a bot to get on my tear and see what happens. I do have a couple of friends who should be joining me in this video. I hope they do. Just to kind of how to play against a normal player. Arcade battles, you don't have to worry about going to IAS. IAS is usually where your plane will start to rip apart. Where in arcade, the game doesn't care. A lot of the physics are simpler and it's more forgiving. Where if you're playing in realistic, if I did this with my plane, which I'm demonstrating now, if I did this, I couldn't get out of this. I'd be stuck in this spot. But in arcade, I'm able to just roll myself right back out. And a lot of the controls are a lot more easier. Well, normally when you want to make a turn like this, it's gonna lag, it's gonna have a hard time pulling off a turn like this. Also, those of you know, Brommos can't make turns like this, but in this game, it goes ahead and already does it. It just makes it so it's for people who don't want to play aggressive, they want to play casual. It's very, very different. Now, with the B-17, it can be very, very forgiving. I'm going to try and knock my engine on a tree and go ahead and put it out. Knock it out and show you what this plane reacts with 3 engines versus the 4 engines that are on it. I should be knocking out engine 1 or engine 4. I forget which way they're listed, so please forgive me. I'm going to go ahead and drop my payload off. Also in arcade, if you are in a dive and you drop your bombs and it phases through you, it doesn't hurt you. Oh. See, here's something weird. I take off both of my wings, and as you can see, I'm still flying. It's very, very forgiving. And I love it. Because I'm able to just keep on going, keep on pushing, and not have to really worry about much. This is kind of my normal layout of planes. The P63A is a very commonly used plane. Also the P36Q, which a lot of people use because of its known... Oop, let's not put the rockets on for right now. It's highly maneuverable. It's almost as maneuverable as a Spitfire. As you guys can tell, it just continues, and it moves around and reacts fairly quickly. Its roll rate is a little bit on the slow side, but that's alright. It doesn't hurt too much. Alright, and this will conclude the end of this video, and I will post another video hopefully tomorrow or so, so please keep an eye out for that, and if you guys have anything, just let me know, list it in the comments, and I'll go ahead and see what I can do.